This is the NTSU Exec Elections
on Fly FM.
President.
Well, we're just going to get straight into it. How's the last year been for you, would you say?
I'd say it's been a great year for me. Some very big achievements for students on my end. I've been able to come at it with a bit of like a fresh set of eyes in a way, especially with the course rep system, and then, as I said, the big wins such as 24/7 libraries, and recently with the grad ball tickets as well.
We're talking about your little paragraph that you had on the SU website.
Yeah.
Talking about 24/7 libraries, you've done very well with that, of course. Unfortunately, not quite 24/7 around the Christmas period. Do you know why that was?
Well, I've been in discussion with the library about this, and there has been an extension as well. It's usually a kind of a financial thing, but we have been working on extending it for as much as we can. So it was actually improved this year. There were days open that it isn't normally for postgrad students and international students. And for next year, we're hoping to improve that even further. So it's kind of a gradual process, and we're hoping it will get more and more into place. And with the kind of steer towards more postgraduates now from the university, we're hoping they'll look at them even more and open it even further.
What would you say has been your greatest success as the Vice President of Education this year?
There's been quite a few, but that's a hard one. It'd be a toss-off between the graduation tickets and the 24/7 library. But I can't actually. I'd say the graduation tickets because it's been like great working in partnership with the university about it, and they're very in favour of it now as well, and great support with us, and we're always working in partnership. It just gives it more accessibility for students getting it free, because in the past it has cost them around £50 for it.
Is that just solely for this year, or is that going to continue into the years?
I think it will continue, but as I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure it will now after speaking to the members of staff at the university.
Yeah, okay. You said in your little paragraph you've managed 800 academic reps. How much experience did you gain from this?
One of the things I do is look after the school reps most of all, so there's about 20 of them, so I manage them quite closely. So I've been able to kind of guide them and give them opportunities they can and be a leader for them, which I believe is one thing I could take over to being the president, because you have to lead the executive team, but it's also given me great oversight as well of the 800 reps, which include the course reps. And one of the things you have to do as president is have a massive oversight of the entire students' union. So I hope that'll be one thing I can transfer over as well.
You said that you want to be a voice for the students, but you said you want to be a voice for the students with B spelled incorrectly, like a buzz in bee. Could be a pun, maybe, about you being a buzz around the issue. But if we can't trust you to be organised when you're writing this paragraph here, how can we trust you to be organised with the actual students' union?
Well, that's probably just because I was so enthusiastic. I just wrote so many E's because I really would love this role, and it's just a slight little thing that I've done that I did check, but sometimes everyone's grammar and spelling is not the best, and I admit I'm not the best at grammar sometimes, but I've shown as VP Education that I have represented the students at all times. The university have commented on this as well, because when they've actually passed any feedback back to me, they've said I'm great representative for students and fulfil my role well. So I've been able to represent them on the educational front in many different things, in everything that comes into place. So I just want to do it now on a much wider scale and work with a lot more staff at the institution to be the voice of students that hasn't, which years and years ago wasn't there, but now is such in a strong place, and I want to develop it even further.
Speaking about being the voice of students, what sort of way would you make sure student voices are heard?
There's so much now that students are on, such as committees at the university. Some, for examples, with course reps, they're on course committee meetings. School reps are on school forum and SASCs that kind of deal with quality in the school and courses that are coming into place. So one thing I've been working on with the university quite a lot is getting more and more students on a lot more things. So one thing I worked on this year is a DAG group, which is development and approval, that actually approves new courses at the institution, and now we've got students on them as well. So I just think it's getting as many students as we can on different committees at the institution or different meetings, and that's where the student voice comes into place.
You've got obviously thousands and thousands of students that are here at NTU, and you're discussing all these committees, all these groups. Don't you think the message of the students gets kind of diluted through all these groups? The message kind of gets passed up even more, and then eventually gets to the top, and the voices aren't really heard as such. Do you believe that it would be better to have like smaller groups, smaller meetings, and get the voice of the students more kind of direct to you as such?
Everything that is passed up into the institution, all the meetings at the top end are the ones that myself and the president all sit on. So I wouldn't think that the student voice is diluted at all. I'd say it's just reinforced. One thing that the institution has worked on greatly is actually listening to students now, which is heard when they do that. You said, we did. So a lot of things that are coming to place from them, and then they pass it up, but they do really keep the student comments on all the minutes and stuff, and then I'll see them at the top end and the president and the meetings that we sit on as well. So there's kind of like a student representative each level on the way up.
Moving on to your manifesto, your first point there, engage non-engaged students. That could be a tough thing to do. Students are non-engaged for a reason. How exactly can you get someone who's like laid back, that don't want anything to do with the uni? How do you get them more engaged, to get them to take more part in what's actually going on here?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just we don't offer what they want. So I've been speaking to PhD students a lot and postgraduate students, and what we kind of offer is not what they would like. So sometimes it's just changing our methods to try and accommodate them more. But I can see what you mean about some students, as you said, maybe being lazy, but they're not all lazy. Some of them are just, as I said, just ones that want to get involved, but there's just nothing we offer here. So that's what I'm trying to really work on in the future, and it's a thing that the institution's working on, and that I hope to steer the union in the way of as well.
You speak about the Brackenhurst SU, and you want to hear from students about its development. What is your vision for the Brackenhurst SU? Could it be as big as the city one?
Just because of a lot of the buildings out there are listed, so I'm afraid there's nothing we could do with the actual building itself, because it's just against the law. But we're hopefully just trying to redevelop the entire insides, and we want to keep all of it so Brackenhurst students really admire it and really like it. With all of the projects, the students have been kept at the heart of it, so anything like such as furniture and stuff like that have all been like spoken to with students. So, and because Brackenhurst is quite far out, I want to give them the best that they can have, and there's no point in giving them a students' union that they don't like. So I just want them to actually enjoy it and be a place that they can go to, like this one is in City, and the point is in Clifton.
You talk about more mature students and more international students. Is this necessarily a good thing, a bad thing for the university?
No, not at all. I think mature students should have access to education throughout all their lives. Like they've gone away and they've been able to come back, and international students should feel very welcome to be here as well. I think it's a great thing that more and more international students are coming here, and a lot of them are feeling like it's kind of like a home as well, and mature students as well. I just think it's great that a more and more diverse range of students are actually coming to this institution now.
And finally, you run against Jez, obviously.
Yep.
VP Services at the moment. What makes you a better candidate than he is?
I'd say that because my role is quite similar to the president's role as it is, so we sit on quite similar meetings as well with each other, such as we sit on academic board and ASQC, which is another quality committee as well. So we sit on many similar meetings, and I've been able to, as I've said in my statement, build quite key relationships in the institution as well, which I hope to continue on with next year. So which will benefit the union and students as well. So, for example, I've worked with the head of employability, the pro-vice chancellor academic, and the head of quite a few different departments as well. And I'm also sitting on meetings with the vice chancellor. So these people know who I am, and I kind of want to just utilise these relationships to benefit us and students.
Oh, thank you very much for your
Cheers.
time.
Thank you.
Just remember that for all your candidates for VP Activities, VP Community, VP Education, VP Services and VP Sport, you can view all their manifestos online.
You can also have the option to reopen nomination for any of those categories. And for all the information about the candidates, please check out the Fly FM website and the Trent TV website.